Correct. So the vaccines don't have human fetal tissue in them. They have debris from the human fetal cell line that was used to manufacture them.
Okay.
When you make a vaccine or when you make a biologic drug, it's really expensive to make them in a test tube. And so we mimic nature's way to do that, and we make them in a cell. And then we try to purify the drug away from the cell. But that purification process is never 100%. And that's because your yield would be so low, you wouldn't be able to sell your drug. So there's leftover DNA from the cell line and cellular debris. So when we use a hamster cell, there's some hamster DNA. But a hamster is a hamster. It's not human. And we recognize it as foreign and eliminate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not human DNA, and it's not decorated like a human decorates their DNA. So,
okay.
And the decoration is absolutely species specific.
Okay.
Okay. Humans decorate their DNA one way, hamsters decorate them another way, and the two never meet,
okay.
right?
Yep.
So when we go to using a human cell, we have human DNA in our final product. And that human DNA is human and has the potential, it's well documented science. If I were to bring in all the papers, there'd be stacks this high, hundreds and hundreds of papers from gene therapy and biology and immunology establishing this. It can cause autoimmunity, and it can be readily taken up by adult stem cells. For whatever reason, they readily take up DNA fragments and insert into the genome and cause mutations. You can have a mutation in one stem cell that can affect 60, 70, 85% of the blood cells in your body, because the way our blood system is set up, there are 8 stem cells that replicate themselves and then make all of the blood cells in our body. And usually one is dominant. So a mutation in a stem cell could lead to, general autoimmune disease, general dysfunction, because that stem cell makes the cells in your body that regulate immunity, including in your brain.
Wow.
So we have been investigating that. And when you look at autism, there are distinct years where autism will suddenly jump, the curve of its rise. It's called a change point. And when we look at change points in different countries all over the world, they are always, so far, associated with the introduction of a human fetal manufactured vaccine. And the more children who are vaccinated with it, it continues, the prevalence continues to go up. So the disease, all diseases are complex, and I believe thimerosal can contribute and aluminum can contribute. And I believe that Dr. Wakefield's concern about the measles virus being retained in the gut can certainly contribute and is part of this complex biology and pathology that we're seeing in children. Mm-hmm. But we're really focused on the fetal contaminants because it is the only vaccine change that is universally and temporarily associated with these change points. In humanitarian vaccination campaigns with the MMR and in Mexico, and after those campaigns, those children started getting leukemias and lymphomas that were unheard of in those areas before. So I did a little research, and there is indeed elevations in childhood cancers. And I believe that the cancer increase is very strongly linked to the chickenpox, which is so heavily contaminated. There is more contaminating DNA in that vaccine than viral DNA. The data actually very clearly supported that there was a change point around 1988, and right when he was doing this work, And what really hit me was the only thing that had changed, that's when they changed the manufacturing from animal to fetal. And we took a quick look around the world and it seemed to hold up. The connection, it is so overwhelming.